So let's see. Well, what's it telling me to rotate? I guess it wants me to do this way. All right. Hey everyone, what's going on? So this is kind of I was trying to use my computer because I wanted to screenshot what was going on or what I had uh, on this whole entire thing, but for some reason it was not working. So yeah, I don't know why it won't let me do it. Whatever. Normally I'm doing it the other way. I don't know why it's having me do it this way. So maybe I can show you the screen one way or another. Uh, do, 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 do. Ah, there we go. So it does change over. Sweet. Okay. So this is what I was going to talk about today. And for anybody that views this later, I apologize for trying to get this figured out. So, anyways, so what I was going to discuss today was going to be why I see the middle class declining, and most of y'all can as well. So I kind of did a little bit. I mean, from the research. So first off, let me tell y'all who I am. So I'm basically a lower middle class person, and as I got older, I wanted to learn as much as I could so I can get out of where I was and so my family didn't have to go through what I did. So as I was growing up, my parents got divorced when I was young. I ended up we lived in Section 8 housing for a little while. It I'm not saying that I had a bad childhood. I'm not saying that at all. I mean, we did what we could do, but we definitely didn't have the money or the resources as other people did and other families. So, bringing my family into this world, I didn't want that to happen to them. However, I met my awesome wife back home from one of my best friends, and her best friend introduced us, and we kind of kicked it off. So I moved away from my family and friends and moved up here. And so, as much as I love my family, uh, it definitely helped me with a lot of things moving up here. So I was able to. Sorry about the airplane, of course, it's going to be going overhead while I'm trying to do this. It's always something. So I ended up moving up here. I got with the electrical union company, make pretty good money, went through their schooling, their apprenticeship program. And I guess about 2 years after I graduated, one of the companies went under and I ended up getting laid off. So you don't realize what you're capable of until you're put in a situation where you have a family, which at that time, my youngest daughter was going to be born the next month or two. And at this point, my wife didn't work. So I had to figure out how I was going to make money. Some of y'all might have been or might even be in that situation right now. So I pretty much sold whatever I could as quick as I could, lost money on a lot of things to start a mobile detailing business. So I had a little Scion XB. I ended up getting a trailer hitch put on there with a brake kit and bought me a trailer and bought all the stuff that I needed, pressure washer and all that stuff, put it all together. And within, I guess, a week of me being laid off, I had a business. I had it branded and everything and was working 6 days a week. So that's just kind of a background of what I am. Now I try to do a detailing business when I was back home. But it's amazing how your family and friends kind of steer you away from that. I mean, it's just strange. Sorry, mosquito. Um, so yeah, it's just weird how your family and friends can not support you very well or as much as you would like them to. So the fact that I moved up here and it was just, I got to figure it out, which again, some of y'all could be in that same situation. Um, I made I made shit happen, plain and simple, and it cost me. I think I went to a lawyer. It cost me $200 to get my LLC. Um, called, I think it was Progressive, to get insurance, and I was off doing my thing. So this is where we're going to get into what I wanted to discuss today: why the middle class is disappearing. So it comes down to, in my personal opinion, that there's a few things that's happened throughout history, and one of them is taxes. It's amazing how in the United States we argued about a cent tax, 1 cent, and now we have so many different taxes. And the main tax that people don't realize is the tax that's automatically pulled from your paycheck. That's usually like 30 to 40% of your pay instantly pulled, that you don't ever see and you don't realize. So I don't know. It's just strange how no one sees that as being an issue. And then it's also, our government doesn't help, in my opinion. There are some people that need help, but they want to help everybody out. Which usually, if you give someone any amount of money, again, this is what I've seen, my personal opinion. There's some people that just don't want any kind of assistance, which is good to a certain degree, because some people just don't like handouts. But there's some people that just honestly need help, and there's plenty of people that take the handouts that could easily go get a job. Now, I'm not going to get on politics or anything like that. That's not what I'm here talking about. What I'm talking about here is, you get handouts, you want to continue getting a handout or a help. So if you get, let's say, $400 a month assistance from somewhere, you want to keep on getting that. I don't care if you're 30 years old, 40 years old, 60 years old, doesn't matter. You're going to want to keep on getting that, or them up it. So when the government gives you some kind of money, you want to keep getting it or get more. So when they try to pull it from you, people get upset. They get pissed off about it. But what you don't seem to understand is, it's not the government. I mean, the government's giving it to you, but the government doesn't know how to make money. They don't make money at all. They tax us. So the middle class is getting taxed even more. Now, they'll push certain taxes, and they've shown this through many decades, that they're going to tax the rich. Well, what a lot of people don't seem to understand is, they don't work for money. They use their assets to make money. I'll give you an example. So you buy a house. When you buy a house, you maybe get some equity after you've been paying for it for 15 years. Hold on. I about to sneeze. So you get equity for in it or whatever. Let's say you're about to go get, I don't know, $50,000. So you can go refinance your mortgage and pull some money out. You can take that money and you can spend it however you want to. You're not taxed on that, because you just redid your loan. So now you multiply that how the wealthy do, where they might have, I don't know, 20 homes. They are getting rental from that, so that's another way they're getting money. They pay the loans for each one of those homes through that rental. They get a little bit extra, $300-$500 maybe every month. So they're getting that passive income from there. That's totally different kind of tax. Then if they need to pull some money or get some money, they can use those houses, those assets for collateral. So let's say they find an apartment building that they want. They can, if they've got equity in those, they can refinance those, and they can pull the money from that and use that money to go buy an apartment complex or whatever. So they don't have to do that. So they get a business and they can start a foundation. They can start putting it's a no, what is it? Anyways, where they're just spending all the money or whatever, so they don't pay themselves very much. So now they've got ways to make money, and it's not the way that we make money. So I go out to a job every morning and get home every afternoon, and I barely see my family, and I'm making that. So I get taxed at a higher percentage. So when you got, let's say you invest your money in anything, you're going to end up making, if you make money, you pull from it, you sell some of your stocks and you have them over a year, okay, you're only maybe paying taxes for 15-20%. 15-20% is nothing compared to what we're getting taxed at, anywhere from 20 to 40% from working. So, all right, so I kind of like went a little bit deeper and all that stuff than what I was trying to get into. So this is kind of what I wanted to show you. So let me turn this screen and kind of show you. Hopefully you can see it on the screen here. So this, oops, let me move that over. All right, so after doing some research, so in 1957, we had up to 91% taxes for people that made that much. So let's take what I make, for instance. So I make about $120,000 a year, and I'm grinding and hustling at my job. So as you can see on there, that would put me at 78%. That's if I made that type of money back then. However, times have changed. You got inflation that's happened and devalue and all, whatever you want to call it. So when you sit there and do the difference in it, my $120,000 now, back then, would only be about $12,000, which is right there. That puts me in 30%. So in the time, it's devalued. So if you end up going to the rates now, which I thought I had that tab up there, but I don't, that tax rate actually puts me right now in the at 22% interest that I'm paying. So you might be looking at going, oh yeah, okay, you make a lot more money, and you're paying less taxes. Now it's changed over the many years, but in 1957, that $12,000, which would be equivalent to what I make right now, I can buy a house for $12,000. A new construction home in 1957 was $12,000. Well, a little over $12,000. So 1 year salary, I could buy me a new construction home. New construction homes now is, for the average in the United States, is 438,000, I think it is. So it's basically 4 times what I make every year. So that's the difference. Our pay has not kept up with the prices of things. Food, of course, has gone up, and all this other stuff. I mean, everything has gone up. Gasoline, whatever. It's all gone up. And that's kind of what I'm getting at on this whole entire thing. So you have inflation that's hit our pockets, which is another form of a tax. The deflation of the dollar over the decades, which you've got. So with inflation or whatever, so like right now, they're trying to get a hold of inflation. So like I think the last bump up or whatever was 75 basis point, which means the percentage that banks loaning has gone up 0.75 or whatever for their, or they can borrow 0.75. So that means interest rates have gone up to buy houses. Well, they do that so less people buy, so they can get a hold of inflation. So people aren't buying as much, and I mean it's a whole bunch of stupid crap, to be honest with you. What they don't seem to tell you either is, so they took us off the gold standard in 1971. Nixon did. So we were on the gold standard. They took us and put us on the petrodollar. The petrodollar actually allowed it so they can do inflation of 2%. The Fed was supposed to do it, supposed to stay in the range of 2%. And they're also supposed to keep everybody working. That's what their contract was with the United States. As you can tell, there's people that aren't working, and the inflation has gone out. So now this time they want to keep on printing money to try to make things look different. So they print a ton of money, they give it out, people are spending money, they're putting it in stocks, and the stock market's going crazy. They said, see, look, the economy's doing great. The economy is not doing great. The economy, they ended up pushing money into the stock market. So that's kind of what I'm trying to discuss in the long term. I'm sorry that this is not as organized as I was wanting it to be. And I'm getting to almost 17 minutes now, and I really hadn't said too much, so I apologize about that. But it's basically talking about how the middle class is kind of being pushed out. So with that being said, now you go to present day. Throughout this time, you got middle class, and you have, well, middle class and poor. They got a certain way of spending money, and they got the rich certain way of spending money, which kind of go back into what I said before. So the middle class and poor usually spend their stuff on like cars, trucks, stuff around the house, whatever. They're not using it to start businesses. They're not buying businesses. They're not buying homes. That's what the rich do. They're buying assets. They're putting it into gold, silver, stock market, mutual funds, whatever. They're investing it for actual assets to build their wealth. When they get that stuff, they can put it in trust funds, and when they put it in trust or whatever, they can borrow against their assets at super low interest rates, while we're sitting there spending, having to go get loans for 10, 20%, using credit cards at 20, 30%, and just getting railroaded for all of our money. Everybody in the middle class is losing more money from taxes, inflation, interest rates, all sorts of stuff, while you have the rich that don't work for money, so they're at a lower tax rate. They use their assets. They don't sell them. They just borrow against them. They just show the bank, hey, this is my assets right here. I want to get $100,000 or whatever because I want to get a loan for a $400,000, fourplex. So they take that, they do that, they rent those four homes in the fourplex out. Now they're making income again. It's an endless cycle for them. That's how they make their money. So we're viewing it differently. They teach us differently. They teach us in school how to make money. To work. They don't tell us how to make money, how money works, how money needs to work for us. And that's what I'm kind of hoping that y'all understand here, because that's what I'm trying to teach my kids as they work. And you probably heard this before. Whatever their paycheck is, pay yourself 10%. Put it in savings. Take another 10%. Put it in some kind of investment. I don't care if it's mutual funds, stocks, crypto. If you're going to save it for a rental house, do that. Take that money and pay yourself some of it. And then if you can live off of, the rest of the money, the 80%, do that. The more money you can put in either one of those columns will actually help benefit you in the long run. I was showing my youngest daughter, which is 8, that if she took just the $200 at being 8 and she put it into, let's say, the S&P 500, which is an average of 10% return, when she got to my age, I think it was, 40, I think it was 48. Actually, it was 40 years. So it would have been, she would have been 48. I think it came up to like $600,000 or something for just $200 and just didn't put anything else in there. So I'm trying to teach my kids and I'm trying to get other people to understand. Try to take some money out, try to live on, you know, 80% or less of your money and invest that money. Take 10%, invest it, whatever you need to do, whatever you can do. But that's basically my rant that I have going on here. Hopefully you get something out of what I said. Hopefully I can get some thumbs up. I know no one was really gonna watch this because I'm just starting out and I don't have all that fancy stuff that all these other YouTubers have. I never have. I mean, my followers and or my subscribers or whatever, I appreciate y'all being subscribers. I think the very first zero turn video I did, I think that's up to like 100,000 views right now. So I appreciate y'all liking that, and hopefully that was able to help many of y'all out, and I hope this helps other people out to understand what they're doing. I got to the point where I started selling, and I'm doing what I'm telling y'all right now. However, you can see the white in my hair. It took long enough for me to really understand what I needed to do. So I sold my Mustang I had, I sold a couple other cars, I sold some other things, and I started paying debt down as fast as I could so I could get the 10% in savings every week and 10% into an investment. Right now, I'm not putting it in any investment. The only investment I'm doing, I've got a line of credit that's at 10%. So putting that extra 10% every week into that, along with doing my payment, that is saving me 10%, which is a return equal to the S&P 500. So that's what I have. I appreciate it. Hopefully y'all learned something, and we will see y'all in the next one. Thanks a lot, everyone.